Hello there. It's finally here. If you are in California and you are an independent contractor, a business owner, or self-employed, finally we have a portal or an option to file for unemployment insurance through the EDD website. If you are not in California, I did make a video earlier about applying for unemployment at other states within the United States. I'm going to leave a link for that video under the description box. But this video is primarily for what to do with the new option at the EDD website for business owners, self-employed, and independent contractors. So I'm gonna go through a few steps, the more important ones, because otherwise it will take too long. You first go to the EDD website, edd.ca.gov, and you go down and there's this new option here. It is pandemic unemployment insurance. So it is number 5 from the under file a claim. You click on that, and then you go through another screen, and this gives you basically the benefits. I'm not going to go through any of that. You can read it on your own. And under eligibility here, you will see that you would qualify if you are one of those 3 people: business owners, self-employed, or independent contractors. There is more information about who qualifies and what conditions, but if you've been waiting for it, it is here finally. And how to file a claim: you go through the same process you would normally go through if you are an employee. So you go to UI online, and this is the first option under how to file a claim, and then you come to this screen here. It says their website was shut down overnight, but it's been actually running for a few hours already. I was looking at it since 2 in the morning. So when you come here, so basically this is where you share the same steps with everybody else. If you already have an account, you hit benefits account on you log in or register by hitting this blue button, benefit programs online, and then that takes you to the next step, and the next will basically allow you to either register or log in. So access benefits, you hit that button there, and then if you have an account already, if you have already registered, meaning you had already entered your personal information and they sent you an email and you confirmed that email and you have an account, then you log in through this. You enter your email, and then I'm not a robot, and then you enter your password. If not, you start a new registration. And it is, it's again a government website, so it is more complicated than it needs to be, but it is not impossible. If you are self-employed, then you've done harder things than this. So you can go through that process. The next one, basically that 3 more screens that will be important to look at, and this will be the first one. Once you go in and you're logged in, they're going to ask you for your name and address and all that information. But then they will ask you if you are an independent contractor or not. And this is basically where the first thing you get to see that relates to that. When it asks you about employment history, it asks you, did you work for any employer in the last 18 months? Okay. And as you can see from the paragraph on top, it says if you are a business owner, self-employed, or independent contractor, or gig worker, so if you are an Uber or Lyft driver or any of those other app companies, if you did not get a W-2, then you answer no. So it says then click no below, as you can see here. And that's basically what you need to do over here, and then you save and move on to the next screen. And then next screen is going to tell you, ask you what kind of work you've been doing. Then you select, you can search for the job that you are doing, whatever it is, if you're a business owner or a gig worker or an independent contractor, and you enter that, and then what other work you can do. For example, if you are an engineer in a previous life or in a previous job, then you put that. Any other work you've done before. Basically, they want to see what skills you have. And then they ask you if the work is seasonal. Do you expect to go back to your employer? Of course, if you are a business owner, then the answer would be no. Do you have a set date to go back to work? The answer is no also. They want you to say you are ready to accept work, which is understandable, even though you're independent. But if you're willing to accept help from the government, then we have to abide by their rules. And then number 7, and that's another one that's related to us, is are you currently self-employed? And if the answer is yes, then there's this square here that's not very clear, but you put down what is your job as a self-employed person, as an independent contractor, or a gig worker, or a business owner. So you put that information. And then are you a member of a union? So this will be the screen. The next one specifically asks you what kind of a disaster caused you to stop working. Why are you applying for EDD benefits if you're not an employee, if you're not on the clock, as most people are? So are you unemployed as a result of a recent disaster? Then you say yes. Which disaster? They have a list, and of course you choose COVID-19, the pandemic that we're all struggling through right now. Okay, then you have to answer the remaining questions. 1A is they want to know what was your income last year, and they don't want, if you are self-employed or independent contractor or gig worker, they don't want the gross income, they want the net income. So your gross income minus expenses. Then you put on the next one is 1A2. What date was the last time you worked? Basically, if it's before the shelter-in-place order in the 6 Bay Area counties, and it's going to be March 16, for example. If you stopped earlier, then of course you put that date. And then 1A3, I don't have the full screen here, but one that applies to us, basically it asks you to describe what category you're into. And hopefully you're not the first one and neither the second one. But there is one option. You are an independent contractor that has been impacted by COVID-19. Business basically stopped for you, and there's no more work for you to do because of COVID-19, and that's one I chose. And then when you're done, basically you're going to go answer all the questions, and if everything's successful, it will says it's been filed, and it will give you a number. So all the best to you. There is another new development besides this one. Just happened today. Today is Tuesday, April 28th. On Friday, April 24, you can. They opened a portal also, but at the irs.gov website, Internal Revenue Service website, that allows you to link your bank account with the IRS website, specifically for this current crisis. So if you've been waiting for a paper check and you know it's going to take you several months, you don't have to worry about that anymore. If you had always received paper checks in terms of refunds or paying the IRS by mail, and they never had your bank account, now is the time to add your bank account so that you get a direct deposit, hopefully within a week or two versus several months. And I didn't make a video about this on that same day. I'm going to put a link under the description box. Another video I had made was about what to do with unemployment insurance, and this will be applying to people who are not from California as well. This is great news for us from California, but there are some other states that are still waiting or struggling with this issue. In that same video also I covered applying for a grant/loan that's forgivable through the Small Business Administration. That money had run out pretty quick, but they just got another $450 billion from the federal government. So that's a third program you can apply to if you have not done so already. I'm going to leave a link for that video as well. So hopefully you'll be able to get paid through the federal government. All of it is coming through the federal government, within the states. But through three different sources: the IRS, Small Business Administration, and today with the Employment Development Department. All the best to you. Stay strong, stay optimistic, and all the best.